Hey there, witches. I am coming to you live from the New Moon Community Spell for Power. I'm going to give you a second to log on. I'm doing things slightly differently today with this spell, and I'm super excited about it. If you're on the live, try to leave me a comment. I did get a new phone, and I'm hoping that it works. Let me show you our spell for power, okay? So first, I want to show you something that I'm doing slightly different, and I'll probably show this multiple times on the live. Here we go. So I created a fire. Well, Audrey helped me create a fire. This fire today is acting as my cauldron. We did the wood in a pyramid pattern. I'm going to talk about that a little bit today. And I've burned all my petitions and a whole bunch of incense in this fire tonight. The reason for this is because I wanted to have a very powerful place to manifest my petitions. I wanted to have a very intense space for manifesting the petitions. So let me show it to you again. Someone leave me a comment. If you already have, then I guess I still can't see comments. But if you haven't, please try to leave me a comment so I can see if I can see them. I did test it earlier. And Rhiannon, if you're there, can you pop into my DMs if I'm not getting comments? Because I'm not seeing any comments. Oh, again. Let's see if I can do the thing where I leave myself a comment and then it makes other comments show up. Okay, so let's look at the spell again. So tonight's spell is beautiful and, dare I say, powerful. Comments aren't working. Could you pull up the live on your phone for me? Comments aren't working, but Audrey's going to pull up my live on her phone so I can perhaps read them. So don't worry about, try to continue to leave them and I'll read them all off her phone before I go. I don't know why my Facebook hates me. However, I'll read them in a minute. Thank you. So here's the spell. Okay, let's talk about it, right? So a spell for power is, what it's doing is, I'm not granting you power. I'm awakening your sense of power that exists naturally within yourself. So it already is there. What we're doing is we're stirring it to life and we're giving a boost of confidence that goes with having a sense of power, right? If you're just joining the live, I can't see comments yet, but I'm going to borrow Audrey's phone and look at them in a minute. Over my shoulder, you can see the spell. In the middle, let me show you. We have a red candle that I've carved to grant access to the power for each of the other candles. Around the table, I have my very famous nice little rose quartz skull. Now, we've done a lot with bones and skulls today. The reason for that is that, first of all, skulls being in the spell is because power is a decision. It's a mindset. It's an energy field that requires your brain to agree as well, right? And so I want you to activate the place in your mind that knows that you're powerful. So that's one reason I have a skull in there. The mind is probably one of our most powerful tools, right? Our bones are very powerful, both in magic work and just because they exist, because our bones are keeping us safe. We have a lot of animals present in the spell tonight because animals are super powerful just on their own accord. This is a griffin, very super powerful creature. We have a wolf here for the same reason. Carnivorous animals are super powerful. They have a powerful bite. They have a powerful instinct, which is the animal word for intuition. So we've got a couple of those present here. I want to show you something else. Let me find one of them. Let's do this one. Oh, that's hot. So on the table, we have 9 pyramids. These are onyx pyramids. They're supremely beautiful, and we are obsessed with them. We have these pyramids because the pyramid is one of the most powerful geometric shapes, figures, whatever, that you can have. The tension created by the construction of a pyramid is really intense, and it's it's powerful and hard to break. Also, in magic work, when you use pyramids, what you're doing is you're highly concentrating all the energy into one point, and it's directing and channeling that energy. But on the other side of it, where you have this square base, you're spreading out the energy that comes through. So you're diffusing it and making it more present in that way. So pyramids are super, super powerful, geometric, sacred geometry kinds of things. So we have 9 of them on the table. And like I said earlier, I'm going to show you my cauldron for tonight. Sorry, it's a little dark. I might turn my lights back on. My cauldron for tonight is my fire pit. Now, I've enchanted the shit out of this fire tonight. There's a whole lot happening in here. The fire pit is where I burned my petitions. I did a super sacred kind of ritual before I burned the petitions, and I burned them in there with some sound channeling through it, and there's a lot of pyramid energy happening in there. You'll notice my fire pit is the shape of a square, which, as you just saw, is the base of a pyramid. It's calling forth energy and putting it up and into the atmosphere, which is what we always want our spells to do. You don't need a candle when you're turning a fire pit into a spell, because the fire is the candle, okay? Let's look at what else we have on our table. We have some gargoyles, because they're fun, but also because they're powerful, okay? Gargoyles are powerful protectors. They take no shit. Look at his face. He's not taking any of your shit. Neither is he. Okay? I have an onyx tower here. Tower is similar principle to the pyramids, which you can play a game and try to spot the pyramids on the table, because they're really everywhere. Now I want to talk about the crystals. I have pyrite. I have quartz. Pyrite, super powerful manifester, super powerful grounder, super powerful protector. We also have a lot of snake skin present on the table tonight. So my symboled hand is directing the energy the way I tell it to. Snakes are very powerful beings. I have selenite and lotus blossoms that were gifted to me by a very magical witch just in time for this spell, and they are resting on a bed of carnelian, which is an empowerment crystal, bloodstone, we have pyrite, we have sunstone, and we have obsidian on here, and then we have the selenite here. It's all creating a base that's getting channeled up into the candle for power. This is a super extra highly spelled spell, because this spell is super important, and because this spell is concentrated power. And so I needed to put a lot into it, because we're asking a lot from it. We're asking it to activate our power. That's a thing that's really big. So that's why I'm going to go all in with this one spell. That's why I'm doing the fire pit the way that I am. I have my pyrite quartz cluster over here. This is quartz and black tourmaline next to it, which is a crystal of balance and calling forth and directing one's power. Ametrine's on the table, because we still had a couple pieces left, and I kept 1 or 2 for myself. So the ametrine is here. Double terminated means it's going to direct the power really beautifully. We have some skulls. Citrine's really great for power. There's my horse. What can you think is more powerful than a horse? I mean, the phrase is horsepower, for crying out loud. I have carnelian in all different forms all over this table. This is a pretty little raven, obsidian raven skull. Same thing with the skulls. I'm going to borrow Audrey's phone, or I'm going to ask Audrey to tell me if there's any questions or comments. Do you see any questions or comments?
It's just more or less high, and the table looks...
Okay, I'm just reading. Sorry about it. Okay. Anybody else? If anybody has questions, let me know. Yeah, Ree, that's what I thought. I thought if I left myself a comment, it would activate it. Why it works in some groups and not in others, I have no idea. I'm going to pass you my phone. I want you to film me with my pyramid, please. So hang on for me for a second, everybody, because I'm going to turn it on to forward-facing camera.
Okay.
So, can you see me in this, please? So this is a glass pyramid. It directs sound. what I've done to this spell is I've infused it with some sound energy that I've talked to it about ahead of time. And I have directed that sound over my spell tonight. So now this is just for demonstration purposes. I already did this ceremonially in my own way. When we do this, what we're doing is calling forth, we're drawing up the energy of the candles of the spell. I don't know if you can still hear it, but it's still going. I held it over the big fire for a long time as well, because I want that sound to channel it up and into the universe and to make it manifest. And I want it to be filtered through that sound. Okay, there's a lot of power in sound. Thank you, I appreciate you. Okay, so to recap, what I've done is there any significant energy with the new moon in Cancer specifically? Jillian, you're asking a beautiful question. So originally I was going to do a very Cancer aligned spell, because it's the Cancer new moon, right? But my guides wouldn't let me choose what it was, and now we know why, because of what happened in the world, and that we needed an empowerment spell. So what I ended up doing was utilizing the energy of Cancer to activate the emotions attached to the concept of power. So power is an emotional thing. It's a conversation about our self-esteem in a way. It's a conversation about feeling like we're worthy, feeling like we're allowed to have our power, like we're allowed to channel in who we really are. Those are some emotions. So I'm harnessing that energy of our emotional energy, and I'm infiltrating it into the spell work by making our emotions work for us. So I've tailored it to kind of work with our emotional energy to activate and maintain the sense of empowerment. But that's a really good question. Cancer, as Rhiannon likes to say, crabs have claws. So it's not that Cancer's a pushover. Cancer will activate when it needs to, and that's the portion of Cancer that I'm using for tonight's spell. Let's see. All right, Joanne, happy birthday to you. If it's your birthday today, that means that the energy of tonight's probably a little more powerful for you. So you should go ahead and do something extra for yourself. Okay. Yes, one big powerful piggyback is exactly right. Exactly. Okay, so let me see what else. Are there any other questions for me? If we are watching, will it help us with creating power for ourselves? Liz asks. Yep. I have all my spells set to affect and impact anybody who's viewing them, if they so choose, or if it's for their highest good. I also always set the table to have at least one candle that is meant for somebody who is just on looking. Now, I don't get to pick who that person is. Spirit gets to pick who that person is. But if you're watching the spell, you're going to catch some of the energy from it. You're definitely going to catch some of its vibes. Especially if you say to your guides, like, hey, give me some of that good spell energy. Like, I want some of that energy in my life. You can watch this as many times as you want and try to absorb the energy that's coming off of the spell specifically to impact your energy field. Okay? Okay. So let me see if we have any other questions before I let you all be done for the night. Oh, and it's Rhiannon's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday to her. And it is Poppy's birthday today. Happy birthday to them. I don't know if they're here, but Poppy, we love you. Rhiannon, we love you. And there was actually a lot of birthdays in this spell. When we were working on pulling all the names together, a lot of y'all have birthdays, so happy birthday. Let this spell and awaken your power. Start your personal new year off with a sense of empowerment, because I can't figure out what could be better than that personally. But then again, empowerment is my word. The last thing I thought would be cool to show you was we have an authentic snake. What would you call this? Vertebrae right here. The spinal cord of anything is the strongest part, or the most important, probably not the physically strongest, but one of the most important parts, especially if you think about the development of people and the fact that having a vertebrae is a really significant developmental thing for our evolution. I just thought it was really helpful to have that in the spell work. We found that at an antique store. Whoa, there goes your phone. Sorry about it. The energy of the spell is just knocking Audrey's phone right off of the thing. Oh, Poppy is here. We love you, Poppy, and we love you, Ree. And we love you to all the birthday babies in the spell today. All right, last chance for questions for me. How do you get a candle in your spell? Shannon, I advertise it fairly heavily starting 2 days before the new or full moon. If you're on my email list, you will get an email telling you about it. And then you can always just go to my website, because I have a drop down in my menu that says community spell, and just purchase your spot there. You can also always just message me directly and ask me about it. Oh, and it's Christina Lawrence, was the 23rd. Happy birthday to you. So, the reason I said, whoops, I'm doing things a little bit differently is because, first of all, I burned my petitions in the fire pit, because I enchanted the fire pit to be a spelled candle, because I wanted it to be a super powerful place for my intentions to burn, okay? Another reason that I'm doing things differently is because I'm going to go ahead and submit these candles directly to this fire once they are burned out. Typically I wait a little bit until I can time it astrology wise for burning the wax remains. These wax remains are getting burned immediately tonight in this very fire because I want to double down on the energy. A lot of time when I'm burning the spell remains, it's as if I'm doing the spell again, because the remains are spelled and oiled and all of that. I want it all to happen at once today because the spell is for power. So I want to be super extra and super powerful about it. I want this fire back here to burn as much of it as possible, and I'm going to talk to it, hold the space, and channel the energy right here and now tonight. So that's one reason why I said I'm doing it a little bit differently, because I really want to go all in with that today, okay? I know, I love that too. Erin, I was thinking of you when I was putting them in there. I was like, Erin would approve of this, very much so. And I used lots of like sigils and magical things when I was creating this fire. And there's a whole bunch of incense in there. There's oil in there. It's a super magical fire. So I'm going to harness all that energy and immediately burn all these candle wax remains tonight, which is something you can do too if you want to. Burning your candle remains is always a really good, clean option. Well, clean if you don't really think the smoke's too bad for the environment. Okay, I'm going to show you the table one last time, and then I'll let y'all go for the night. Soak in all that good empowerment energy. Let me turn off the light. I'll turn off the light and give you optimal viewing energy. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? And you've got the magic kind of fire going right over there. So there's your new moon spell for power. Now in the days and weeks to come, if you're in this spell, as you're absorbing all this energy, you're going to find that you have a little bit better boundaries. You're going to find that your throat chakra is activated. You're going to find that you're thinking more clearly about things. You're going to find that suddenly you want to get up and do things or take a certain amount of action or put things into motion. That is the spell moving through you. That is how the spell works. It creates impulses within you, and it's your job to act upon those impulses. These are going to be empowered impulses. And when you act on them, you're going to get your way because you have power and empowerment as part of your energetic vibrancy now. So take action, move on those impulses, super duper trust yourself. That's what empowerment is, okay? Trust yourself and take your actions as you think to do so, because that's how this spell is going to manifest for you. So when you think a thought, or when you want to set a boundary, or when you're like fed up, or when you're like, you know what I'm going to do? do that thing. That's what it's for. Okay? We're not being timid. We're not second guessing ourselves. We're not getting all up in our heads and worrying about things. We're taking action. We're standing up for our life. We're being present to our own goals and our own dreams and desires. We are speaking with our voice. We are living from our center, and we are doing so unapologetically. We are empowered. That is what the spell is for. Okay? All right. I love you all. And I am wishing you a very blessed and very powerful new moon. Talk to you soon.